Well, happening this weekend, laughs, redemption, and a quest for the perfect sandwich. A delicious new comedy is coming to Portland Center Stage.
Clyde follows the formerly incarcerated kitchen staff at a sandwich shop as they navigate their new lives outside of prison and around their tough boss. Joining us on the couch with a sneak peek of the new production, we have Chip Miller, the director behind Clyde's, and Setareki Wainiqolo, who plays the role of Montrellous. Good morning. Thank you both for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you being here.
This sounds like a really fun show. So, Chip, tell us a little bit about the story and how you brought Clyde's to the stage.
Yeah, it is about a sandwich shop and a group of people working, and maybe they have the worst boss ever, or maybe not. And it's a fun time of making sandwiches, exposing our hearts, and learning how do we move on from something terrible. And I think, particularly in this play, how do these formerly incarcerated people see a path forward in their life in a world that says maybe you're supposed to be one thing.
Well, and this is, again, you got a comedy side to this. So, I mean, this is, well, not side to it, it's a comedy. And so but you do kind of touch that undertone of a serious issue, you know, with it. What's it like to portray this character with that in mind?
I think it's actually a unique opportunity. It's almost Shakespearean, where you welcome the audience in with the humor, and it puts them in a state where they're more open to receiving some of the deeper themes of the play. And so actually it's quite exciting to be in that moment, especially as you arrive to the end of the play where the story kind of ramps up, the stakes sort of elevate. The audience feels like they arrive at this place where when the truth finally drops, they really feel it. So it's kind of, you know, Shakespearean again in that way.
Yeah.
It's beautifully, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
One of those comedies with heart.
Yes.
Well, you got to perform this first in Syracuse, New York. So you put this together, kind of a co-production here in New York, and now you brought it back to Portland Center Stage, maybe dusting off the scripts a little bit, coming back to some of these roles. Any changes to the show, kind of having a little time off?
Some slight changes.
Yeah.
I think one of the things is it ran in Syracuse for a month. And so with theater, every time you do it, you learn a little bit more about the play. So as a director, I leave at opening night. And so then they ran it for a month. And so arriving back at it this past couple of weeks has been like, oh yes, this is what we made, but it evolved so much. And so it's nice to see the evolution of the piece.
Yeah, well, what's it been like to direct? You know, what's it like from the director's chair?
Well, I mean, it's Lynn Nottage, who is one of our greatest living playwrights, and her language and the way that she focuses in on the humanity of each of the characters, it's such a gift to dig into and open up and expand. And I feel like every time I encounter the play, whether I'm reading it or I'm in the room with the actors, I'm learning more and more, and that it's so funny and it's so full of heart.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your character of Montrellous, Seta, and what really made you kind of want to take on this role. What about this show stood out to you?
Well, Montrellous is sort of the head chef, if you will, of the sandwich shop, and he's sort of a guru, a bit of a leader, so to speak, and he kind of guides the other fellow chefs in the kitchen, always imparting as much wisdom as he can, but also learning from his fellow, you know, sous chefs. And the thing that drew me to the role, I'll be honest with you, when I first got the audition, I wasn't sure that it was right for me. I think the first thing was I didn't quite, there's a sort of challenge in the kind of guru sort of character for me. I find it a little bit easier to be kind of maybe the stoic or the, you know, the villain. It kind of comes a little easier. But I will say, in the room, working with Chip during the callbacks, I was inspired by the idea that they offered, which was that these are real people tackling sort of Greek themes, you know, human beings in our lives. We do, like, you could argue that it is a very simple, mundane, day-to-day thing, the days that we live, the schedules we have, but the feelings we encounter and the people we meet and how they affect us, those things have a much more grand kind of, you know, impact. And I think that's what comes up in this play. Chip offered something so beautiful, and I never forgot. The soul is kind of reaching up to the heavens in this play, but your feet is firmly placed on the ground. And that's sort of like, that kind of encapsulate this play. Lynn Nottage, again, you know, what a beautiful playwright to be able to kind of masterfully create that kind of environment, because you could easily go one way or the other, too grounded or too head in the clouds.
Yeah.
This play has both of those things firmly set into it. And so that's kind of the thing that right away I was like, I got to do this play.
Oh, that's really beautifully put.
It
I
is
love
very
that.
cool. You might have been hesitant on Guru, but I can see why they cast you in this.
It's like, this is my guy.
I could sit and listen to you talk about it all day. That's very cool. And we should mention, Chip, this is going to close out the 2023-24 season for Portland Center Stage. So last chance to get in and see a show this season. If folks haven't been to PCS, just what's a show like there? Just give us kind of a sense of the space.
It's a beautiful space in the old Armory building. It's in the heart of the Pearl. And we really want to welcome people in and say, this is the theater for our community.
Yeah.
Everyone is welcome, and we want to tell stories that bring you to rooms you've never been in and challenge you, entertain you, delight you, and make you want to go out after the show, have a drink, and talk about what you just saw.
Well, it sounds like this is the show that will do exactly just that. Chip and Seth, I really appreciate both your time. Thanks for being here. And break a leg, as they say in the showbiz. Really cool. And you can catch that production of Clyde's at Portland Center Stage out in the Pearl. Previews start this Saturday, June 1st, with shows scheduled through June 30th. And for more information and tickets, you can always go to pcs.org/Clydes.